Hey, g'day guys, it's Calvin from the Cartoon Company in New Zealand. I do a heap of 1UZ conversions and wiring and repairs, and today we're going to talk about the vacuum lines and what you can remove when you're doing a conversion. Before I get into it, let's have a real quick look over our subject vehicle today. So it's just a Hilux, it's got a Lexus engine in it, as per normal. It's got a bit of steel wrapped around it. It's got some knobbly tyres and it's got some springy things in there. Inside what have we got? There's a dashy thing I've been wiring and a sticky thing for changing gears and a big switch. Don't worry about the ignition switch. And a pumpy thing there, or a controller for the front winch. And a boxy thing over there with the ECU in it. And some more wiry things. And a box of oil and a cooler, compressor, and an electric winch. And a hydraulic winch. And a fuel tank. Take note of that. There's a fuel tank on the back. And a radiator on the back. And under here, what do we... Oh, we've got springy things at the back. Calipers, brakey things for stopping us. And a hydraulic brake booster. We'll come back to that in a minute. And another winchy thing on the front. So anyway, this video is not actually about this truck. It's about the vacuum lines. It's a tall truck. I'm a short person. We have a ladder. Whew. I often say that I'm economically sized. And it's been suggested I should actually say that I'm built like an astronaut. I can deal with that. Anyway, vacuum lines. Before you go pulling vacuum lines off your engine, it's a good idea to understand what some of the components are. And these are really, really basic components. So we've got a vacuum switching valve for the purge system, or for the charcoal canister. If you've got a factory car, the best thing you can do is leave that alone. Pretty simple, eh? It stops fumes and smells, which are horrible, and it sorts all that stuff up nicely, and you can just leave it alone. This vehicle has got the fuel tank on the back. It's got its own little breather, and it's a competition truck. We do not need a charcoal canister for it, so that can actually leave. On the same little vacuum line, oh, wait, we'll just have a turn around here. So this is the VSV for the purge system. This one actually happens to be linked into the vacuum. Comes from here, normally goes into this line here, comes around, pops out to there, then it comes back and it goes into this one. And as you can see, it's been blanked off. So we're going to remove that. Unplugging it will not cause a code. We're going to remove this little matrix in a moment as well. Right, this thing here, this is a fuel pressure regulator. If you're working on cars, you should know what that is. It needs a vacuum source. So that normally comes from here, through this little vacuum matrix, look, through here, down to there. So I'm going to remove that. And run a vacuum line direct. So that's going to tidy that up. We'll probably get rid of this and put a proper blanker on it. Right, if you have a 20 series, a Gen 2, the fuel pressure regulator will be here at the back, and it will be linked into this one. Again, bolt up it, we'll get something nicer. If you have a Lexus LS400 Gen 2, there will be another unit, a lot like this, back here. It'll be linked from here. Vacuum line will run into the VSV for the fuel pressure reg, and then it'll come back to the fuel pressure regulator. If you have that one, probably best just to leave it there. The other things you have is EGR. And that's a big mess of vacuum hoses. Pretty much all that stuff can go if you're allowed to where you live. I've got another video coming on EGR removal. Right, there's another vacuum line. This one. So it normally comes down to the idle up that is on the power steering. Let's grab an idle up. So next we have the little idle up valve from the power steering. They break a lot. I prefer to run them if I can, especially if it's an automatic. So if I'm doing a four-wheel drive automatic, I do try to run this. However, they can be blanked off, and on a lot of my manuals I do blank them off because there's just no room in a lot of the Hiluxes that I work on. So I put a ball bearing under there, I take all the top off, I weld it up, put it all back together, and I blank up the hose. Though as I said, I do prefer to run it. The VVT-i also has the same fitting. It's the one that goes to the top of the manifold. We'll have a look, eh? So this is the fitting on the top of the intake manifold. See, there's the intake manifold on a VVT-i that flows to. From the front, from there to the fitting, back up to there. Right, the next one is this fella. That is for the brake booster. This is not for the brake booster. This is for the brake booster. This is not for the brake booster. Brake booster. Okay. Brake booster. There's the brake booster line. Fits on the back of the intake manifold. This one has got a hydraulic system, so we do not need this. Some of them come with that little blanker. I said blanker, B-L. So let's screw the blanker in there. That'll tidy this up a little bit. Don't forget the washer. And I have these fellas. So that can go there. Oh, beautiful. That can go there. Like factory. A lot of the time when I'm doing wiring looms, if I know they're not going to run a breather, that one actually does get taken right out. Tuck that away. Easy. Done. And I'll try and find a proper blanket for that. So that was really easy. Engine looks a bit tidier, and we're moving forward. So I hope that was helpful, and we'll talk to you again later.